Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Midnight Screening. I am your host, Nathan. Needs a username, Ling. With me, I've got some of my good friends. He's back. Everyone, after an outpouring of support and worry, I was at a baseball game. People were holding up signs that said "Save Josh," which was, really insensitive from him actually to not just tell everyone he was out joyriding in his friend's car. Josh is back.
Save Josh?
With the Ferris
Was it like
Bueller joke.
I'm just. Yeah, okay. I'm not dead. That also hello.
That joke worked better in my head.
There was too many words you need to describe the one joke. I've got to admit, it was a bit much.
Yeah,
Anyway, he's
but
back.
Hi.
And as always, Ty Hennessy is here.
yes, what Josh didn't was met is he was hanging out at the passenger side of his best friend's ride.
Calling him a scrub.
Yep.
Yeah.
No comment.
We are full of dated
Oh,
pop culture
leave the
references
cable.
today.
Leave the cable, Kitten. Oh, hello, what are you?
Ty's cat is apparently attacking his setup.
Say something, Pip? Nah.
And, the longest intro ever. And joining us for the first time, we have a very special guest. Our good friend Simeon Nicholas, aka Earl of Bagels.
Hi.
That's all you've got.
Hi.
That's all I've got.
We need to give full disclosure. He is not the Earl of anything. He is not royalty, and I don't think he likes bagels that much.
I do like bagels.
I
That's a
never
lie.
seen you eat a
bagel.
bagel.
Have you not seen me eat a bagel before?
Not once.
I will
Bagel.
bring one to
Hey.
church.
I have.
I feel like I've seen.
For some reason, you were in the car with me and Joel, and we went to McDonald's. You went, I want a bagel. I'm like, that sounds like a shout. I love bagels.
Bagels are great.
Are we gonna
That's bagels.
start this interviewing Simeon and ask him why?
Well, then
What?
the question becomes, what's the best kind of bagel?
Oh, okay, let's do that instead.
Chicken and egg.
Nope.
Yes.
No.
Okay, what's the best bagel?
You get a plain bagel, you toast it. Toasted bagels are just superior, right? Once
yes.
it's toasted, you put the butter straight on, butter melts right in, gets that nice like combination of
Yes.
crisp, and then
Mhm.
just bacon. Just bacon.
Okay.
Don't
And
hit
egg.
me with that egg.
Bacon
crap.
bagel.
What's wrong with egg?
Like open top.
Why are you
Open,
fighting
wait,
eggs?
wait, open top or sandwiched?
Or
Oh,
sandwich.
sandwiched.
Okay.
Sandwiched. Come on.
Wow. My
like,
favorite
you
bagel
press it-
is still a pizza bagel.
Simeon has literally no say in this conversation.
He's the Earl of
You squish the-
Bagels.
you squish the top
The
of the
guy's
bagel
got a
down.
name.
You squish the top of the bagel down, the yolk pours all over the place. It's great.
That's just inconvenient. Also, egg doesn't taste good. You all have just been tricked into thinking
What's
eggs.
your issue with egg?
Eggs are just failed fetuses of chickens.
I just had a fried egg sandwiched between two hash browns this morning. That was great.
You're gonna die
sounds
of heart
fire.
failure in 2 years.
That sounds fire. Why'd you mention that to me? That sounds great. I'm gonna try that when I'm not
Oh, it was
on a
great.
weird diet.
Fantastic.
Look at me, I'm Nathan. I can eat whatever I want. I
Anyway,
won't
can,
get fat.
can I suggest cream cheese?
No, you cannot.
No!
No.
You can shut up.
Can I suggest cream cheese? Idiot.
That's a good bagel
No.
topping.
If you want to eat cheese, be a man and eat hard cheese. None of this cream
Hard
crap.
cheese.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You want some sharp cheddar on your bagel.
I'm picturing Josh's shopping list. I need bread, milk, hard cheese.
Let's be honest. Josh's shopping list is pre-sliced smoked cheese by packet.
Yeah,
That's
He
never
just
an intentional
eats
lie.
that
bad
he
boy.
just
He's that
That's
bad
just
boy
when
going
I'm
up
feeling
this-
snacky.
that
That's
he
when I'm
eats
feeling
like it's a
snacky.
packet of crisps.
No, he can't eat Chris. He
Yeah,
eats
that's why
gluten.
he eats slices of
Crisp?
cheese.
They're just you all are just mad that I am
Let
just
me ask you
not
a question.
got the self
Josh.
care enough to look like an
Ask a
idiot when I
question.
eat cheese.
A question. How happy do you feel eating a gluten-free bagel?
I don't because I'd rather not degrade myself to that level. I've not had a bagel in
Yeah.
years.
Oh,
Uh,
Aww.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I miss bagels, man.
So welcome to Bagel Talk.
We just literally spent 5 minutes talking about it.
We haven't introduced the movie yet.
Here,
So
better.
Wait, is it about bagels?
what do you mean? You
No.
know what we did, right? This is where we found out
It was a
Simeon.
sausage party, right?
Simeon hasn't been reading the Discord. He has no idea what we're talking about today.
What are we talking about today, Nathan?
Well, as always, thank you for the segue, Ty. As always, we put up a vote on my Instagram. Follow Nathan Needs' username for your chance to vote on future episodes. Because Simeon's coming on, we want to talk about animation, so we put up Hayao Miyazaki, arguably one of the greatest animators of all time. We put two of his masterpieces up for the vote. My Neighbor Totoro and Spirited Away. Spirited Away won the vote of a margin of, I can't read, it's too small, 63%. I didn't open the photo on my phone before. So we're talking Spirited Away today.
Woohoo!
Did you want like a reaction there?
I want
Like, you
someone
paused,
to
like,
say
you want us to go-
something.
Yeah!
You were just stating a fact.
It'd been me
Yes,
talking
that's what
for
we
a
watched.
while.
That is what we'll talk about.
Yeah, so we're
If
doing
this was video, my reaction was there. Reaction is the face.
This is our 14th episode. We're still no idea how to do this. Yeah, we're doing Spirited Away.
I watched it.
You did?
Great start.
I'm glad.
I'm sorry. I would not show my kids this movie.
Really?
Personally.
All three.
Yeah, literally none of them.
Okay. I feel like I was probably your oldest age when I saw this.
But you're 6.
I feel like I would have been about maybe slightly older. Yeah.
Explains a lot.
I think you're right though. It's not a movie for little kids.
My Neighbor Totoro, which I might actually give a bash, because it's there.
Mhm.
No, this one, yeah. We can get into that.
Yeah. We can. I have a question for everyone here first though. Because this is our first foreign language film we've done on the show.
Yeah.
Who watched it subbed and who watched it dubbed?
Ooh.
I watched it dubbed.
in Spirited Away, and the first one that came up on Netflix, I clicked.
Did it talk in English or did it talk in Japanese?
English.
So it's dubbed.
Okay, so you watched it dubbed.
Yeah.
Sim, what did you say?
Dubbed.
You watched it dubbed, well, Josh?
Most recently dubbed, but I have seen subbed.
Okay. I did sub this time.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, like Josh, I've seen this film in both several times.
See, here's my problem with watching films like this in subbed rather than dubbed. Is it's such a visually stunning thing, and so much of what the film is about visuals. Because
Yeah.
most Ghibli films are, because that's how he does it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He draws it, then he'll write it. So then, when you watch it subbed and you're constantly focused on what the subtitles are saying, you miss so much of like the actual just
I did.
Mm.
vision of what the film is.
I'll be honest with you. I did find myself like pressing the back 10 seconds button a couple times to be like, I want to look at the water again.
It's
That's
so
fair.
beautiful.
I was reading dialogue. I need to look at the water. Yeah,
Just speak of that.
go for it.
Sorry, Nathan, you go.
I was just gonna make the point that as much as I'm not one of those purists of everything has to be subtitled all the time, a lot of things should be. Cough cough. That terrible Squid Game dub.
Yeah.
Anything live action should be subbed.
Yeah, anything
Yeah.
live action in general
Yeah.
should absolutely
Because
be dubbed.
that can't be fixed like something like an animation.
No. But I do think Spirited Away especially, its dub is just so well done.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you could watch this.
Thank
And
you,
again,
Disney.
And again, it's a kids movie. Like, I'm not expecting kids to read subtitles.
I'm a weird guy. I watch stuff with subtitles on. Because like for years I spent years watching movies and going, what did he say? And constantly rewind. I'm like, do you know what? I love subtitles. So Netflix, halfway through Spirited Away, the subtitles started screwing up.
Oh,
And
yeah, because
Essie's S's were replaced with Z's.
No, yes, it does.
Like,
Yes,
the hell?
we'll talk about that now because it does that if you watch it in Japanese, and I think what they're trying to do there, I can't remember quite the point it's in. I think the character's speaking with like a sarcastic voice,
Oh,
so it's trying to
Huh.
portray that they're saying it differently
right,
if you're not understanding the Japanese. But obviously you watched
right,
it
yeah,
in
yeah.
English with English subtitles, so
With the tone of an English little dick.
yes.
Don't we
Pretty
have
much.
quotes for that?
Um, yeah,
Did it all throw in like italics or something?
I
Yeah.
don't know why they've did it that way, but yeah, there is. I did notice that as well. There is one part where they did that.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's one thing. But I didn't spend too much time looking at because guess what? The subtitles were useless because it would say one thing, but the character would say another thing.
Yeah, because
And I'm
it's
like,
subbing from the Japanese instead of the dub, so it's not concrete. It's really weird.
yeah. In an old Bruce Lee
You've
movie.
seen.
Oh, what was it? I think it was Enter the Dragon. I have that in. Oh, is Bruce Lee Chinese? Whatever it is.
Yes.
I have that, and then like the subtitles, I can choose English dubbed or original. If I choose the original, obviously it's the language, and then like the subtitles comes up, and it's like he's asking, he says, "Where's the shitter?" Couldn't use the toilet. And then the English dub is, "I need to use the toilet." Like no, he's actually saying, "Where's the shitter?" It's where's the shitter?
But yeah, that is
Yeah.
it's an old debate with all foreign language stuff, especially animation. Um, I do think this is a film like most Ghibli stuff. Either way works fine.
Yeah.
From memory, again, I didn't watch the dub this time. From memory, the dub is good. I don't know who voice acts in it, but
That actually reminds me. Right, one of the characters, I'm like, I know her voice, and I completely forgot to look. The woman that dubbed Lynn.
I think that's Susan Egan.
quick to IMDb.
Oh, she plays Meg in
Plays Meg
Hercules.
in Hercules.
Ah,
There we
okay.
go. That's it, thank you.
No,
I
that's
just
the
said
wrong one.
Hercules, I'm like, there we go.
Let's jump into that then. It's, first piece of Nathan actually knows a bit of trivia for once. Hey.
Ah,
Yes. Famously, the Studio Ghibli's movies were not dubbed in English for a very long time, because Hayao Miyazaki, the one of the founders of the studio and director of Spirited Away and My Neighbor Totoro, etc., most of their best films. He is such a perfectionist that he refused to let someone mess with the film itself. Well, there's a lot
yeah.
of dubs end up being quite like almost right, and then they'll change things to make it fit sensibilities for the countries and whatever. He didn't want that to happen, but a little movie called Toy Story came out, and I said his name wrong there. Hayao Miyazaki adored Toy Story, so met with John Lasseter and Pixar. John Lasseter has a big animation nerd freak out fanboy moment because Hayao Miyazaki's in his office. He's like, "That's Hayao Miyazaki. He did My Neighbor Totoro. He's a legend." And Miyazaki's talking about this new film he's got called Spirited Away coming out. And they make a deal. Lasseter says, "If we don't change a single thing, would you let us dub Spirited Away? If we don't change a single line of dialogue, will you let us produce this movie and let it come out in the Western theaters?" And it did. And it went so well that they went back and redid every movie Studio Ghibli had made since the 80s. And forward, everything they've done since Spirited Away has also been then dubbed in
Yeah.
English on release, which is fantastic. Big part of why these films are now so famous in the West.
Hmm.
Makes sense.
Yeah, just another example of how Toy Story just changed everything.
Bed,
Yeah.
Nathan.
They
Is
still
she song?
It's Toy Story 2.
I still can't stop hearing Spirited Away, like Chihiro's voice, and not think of Lilo from Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, you're right.
They're the same, which
Oh
is
my god.
so
Oh.
catches me off guard.
Yeah.
That does make sense, I guess, because those films came out really close together, didn't they?
Lilo and Stitch came out a year after.
Yeah. That's cool.
And they're both little douches until something happens. Same. Also, BT Dubs, her parents, like the way they're eating, I've watched Asian people eat. That is legitimately, they'll grab that much food in
That-
one go.
That scene. It's one of the things. Miyazaki, the way, and it's an anime thing in general. Food just always looks incredible, you know.
Mm.
Yeah.
But in
Oh,
that,
that duck looked fire.
yeah, in that scene, all of the food looks so delicious. Like, it looks so appetizing, but also everything is so gross. Like,
Yeah.
it balances those two things so well.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I get why you're stuffing his face like that, but also, ew.
Yeah. Like the giant dumpling.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like, that's not fitting in his mouth. And do you remember Evolution, the film?
Okay.
And the dinosaur's like spitting up something.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looked like, except in reverse. It was like a big sack on his mouth, like, It was reverse evolution. Devolution.
So, usually, we try and sort of explain the premise of a film in case someone hasn't seen it.
Good luck with that.
Got you. I got you.
Okay. Oh, Ty wants to try.
Oh.
Yes. Right. There's this little dick called Chihiro. Moves to a new place.
So someone else can take over it.
Nah. Right. There's a little girl called Chihiro. She moves to a different place for reasons. I don't know why. And then her dad thinks she's a man and goes, I know a shortcut. No, you don't. You've never been here before. Goes in like a creepy, like what he thinks is an abandoned amusement park. Rule number 1, don't go to the creepy place. Then they eat like hella food, get turned into pigs. So Chihiro goes on a mission to release her parents from being pigs. Then has to talk to a giant ass headed woman, bigger than Hella Bonham Carter in Alice in Wonderland. And then you see her baby, which is the most haunting thing I've ever seen. Nathan, I'm not surprised you're scared of children. You're scared baby.
It was baby from Spirited Away.
So then she goes on a mission. Then she doesn't ken her name. Then she gets like real popular at the bathhouse because she cleans a stink monster, which turned out to be like this creepy dragon old dude. It was actually haunting, by the way. Then she's also followed by this thing called No Face, which is a monster that eats people. Then learns a lesson and goes home happily ever after. Done.
Okay, now that Ty said what he thinks the plot is, who wants to explain the plot to Ty?
Well, I mean,
That's
first of
the
all, Ty,
plot.
when you try and describe plots to like more advanced children's movies, I start to understand more and more why your favorite film of all time is Power Rangers, because you are still just.
We're bringing this back up. Okay.
The plot of the movie is that Chihiro, also known as
Yes.
Sen, when your name gets stolen, is moving
Yes.
house for probably a job from her dad, and then because they get kind of crossed into what, again, you were right, they thought it was an old amusement park. The parents start to eat a bunch of food that was just lying out, like with full intention to pay for it, but what they're really eating is food meant for the spirit world, because that's kind of what they started to cross into. So they turn into pigs. Chihiro starts running, ends up running straight into the spirit world, gets saved by this guy called Haku, who, spoiler alert, is a dragon, but also saved Chihiro's life, which is a weird plot twist. Anyway, and then ends up having to work at the bathhouse so that she herself doesn't get turned into some random animal by the person in charge.
Yep.
She then becomes very popular at the bathhouse because she's apparently good at it. Because, you know, she's a protagonist of a film. She needs to be good at something needlessly. And then from there, some weird stuff happens with No Face.
She's not good at it though.
Yeah, she learns.
She's horrid. Like you can see her at the start. She's struggling to mop the floors. Even like simple stuff like wringing out a cloth was tough for her.
Mm.
So it was No Face's interference that helped her. Like that's how she got the bath tokens and all that to clean the stink monster. And it was the stink monster who like pointed her to like she like picked him up, picked her up and like put her next to where the friggin' bicycle handle was to pull it out. So Chihiro, like Yubaba says, I'm impressed you got up here, but I bet you had a lot of help.
Which she did.
She did.
She's friends with Dr. Eggman with all the arms. The little soup monsters.
Oh, that would be so funny if Kamanji was voiced by. I love how Kamanji's animated. So creepy, but like how?
Yeah. I was like, that's what I thought as well.
Arms just go on forever.
When I first saw Kamanji, he was like, I had 2 arms. I'm like, alright, cool. Started growing more. I'm like, spider dude, great. And it just stretches for a thing. I went, that's horrible.
You see his feet in like one scene, and they're tiny.
Yeah.
It's like the back end of a spider. Yeah.
The implication is that he is a person, but he's magicked himself these arms, so he doesn't need his legs anymore. So they're just kind of hanging, like dangling from the back.
It's the alien from Men in Black 2 in the post office. It's his grandfather.
But yeah, when you talk about Josh, Sen, Chihiro being needlessly good at stuff. I think are you meaning the because she's the only one that can clean the sink spirit?
Yeah, not necessarily like she's just physically good at all the jobs, but you know, they have to make the new anime protagonist be the one that saves the day and saves the stink spirit. You know, that's what I was saying, because you know, it's an anime.
That I think ties into. I'm just gonna fanboy over this movie. That I think ties into the weird. I'll give you a very strange plot twist that Haiku actually saved her as a child. Because
The water spirit.
he's a river. Yeah, he is a river.
Yeah, the river.
He is that is what he is. He is a river.
He is an island.
But you may also.
But he's also a dragon.
Yeah, because in this movie, water spirits are represented as dragons, so that's why the stink spirit becomes a dragon that flies away at the end of the same type of dragon. They're both water spirits. He's also a river, and that's how she knows to unclog him by moving the bike. Because even though she doesn't remember having to drain the river as a child, they mention in the movie that you should remember something it's not forgotten. So she has that knowledge somewhere in her that that's what she has to do because she's done it before. The whole movie ties into itself.
I think that makes sense.
But I will also admit I didn't get that from watching the movie. I got that from reading Hayao Miyazaki's biography, Turning Point.
Ah.
That sounds about right, yeah.
Because that happened in real life. He tells a story in that book about there was a river in his village that was like turning into like a swamp almost, like it was just filling with gunk and dirt and rubbish. They went to drain it, and eventually they realized there was a bike stuck, like in it. Like, essentially where the water would drain out. So they tied a rope around it and pulled it out, and from there, like everything just kind of, like the water just started flowing again, and everything like cleaned itself out.
Then they found gold.
And then I don't think that happened in the real story. Yeah, he was like, to him that was the best like representation of this visual metaphor for like, you can solve all the little problems all you want, but without like tackling the issue, nothing actually gets fixed. But the second you tackle the real issue, everything just sorts itself out.
Yeah.
So he figured that was gonna be his little centerpiece to the movie.
A lot of centerpieces though.
Yeah. on the point of the stink spirit, it's so freaky how this guy can make such beautiful water, but make some horrific looking sludge.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's oh
There's a duality to how beautiful Miyazaki's animation is. 'Cause yeah, it does mean if he wants to gross or freak you out, he will gross and freak
Yeah.
you out.
mm,
100%.
The way he does blood.
Give the
as
film
well.
that.
mm,
Give the film that. The animation, like the drawing, is actually gorgeous.
yeah.
Everything outside of like the human characters is just beautiful.
Like just like Yubaba's scene where she jumps in front of Chihiro for the first time.
Oof.
Like you can see like her
Mm.
dress like fly up.
Yeah.
And it's like that's like 2 frames.
Mhm.
And it looks so good.
Yeah,
You didn't need to do that.
Detail.
The scene was very clear to begin with. It's just all the extra stuff. It just makes
Notice
it.
the detail in her jewelry.
Oh,
Mhm.
goody Ann.
Yeah.
That's someone with authority right there. Oh, and I love the kind of transformation. Like she doesn't like exactly transform, but like when she's like flying around as like a crow,
Yeah.
it's just her big long nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like a crow from a distance. It's like that's a great disguise. Oh,
Yeah, it all just makes sense because it is her, yeah, her fit and then her cloak. Just
mm.
yeah, things you've already yeah, that's just how she looks anyway. But if she does this, he looks different now.
And just like her room, it's there's so much time that's been put into it. And then the guy was like, let's just redraw this whole thing, but destroyed.
And yeah, when you take into account that this is like a traditionally animated movie,
Yeah.
yeah, you're fully talking in an example like that, redrawing it.
Mm.
Yeah, you can't reuse that frame now if you need it to look different.
It's so good.
I don't know why I felt the need to explain animation to Simeon there. Why you're here.
Like yeah.
Yeah, you explain the horror element to me now.
What this the scene when she realizes her baby's missing.
Oh.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Just
that
like
is-
her like figure slowly expanding as fire's erupting from her mouth and her hair is about to strangle Haku. And then in one moment, all of it gone. That, if I was younger when I watched that movie, that would have given me nightmares.
Oh yeah, as someone that saw this movie as like a kid, there is plenty in this film that really freaked me out.
Baby.
But like, yeah, I think that was a big part of the reason I loved it. Like, from a young age.
Oh yeah.
Like, and still one of the things I really respect about this movie and Studio Ghibli's stuff in general, that it doesn't treat its audience like they're idiots, you know?
Mm.
Like there's nothing in it where it's like it doesn't explain what's going on in like very simplistic terms for a child to understand. It just
Yeah.
tells the story and goes like, yeah, presumes that you'll get it.
Yeah.
Like Chihiro chasing Haku up to Yubaba's room.
Mhm.
And it's just the only thing that we have context wise is that Haku's injured, Chihiro wants to help him.
Yes.
And then you get to the scene where she has to cross over a gap to some ladders and there's a pipe in between that, a very rusted old pipe. There isn't I need to get over there, but the pipe's rusted. It might fall apart. Nope, it's just her getting ready, preparing herself, and charging.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Yeah. Because before early in the movie, she couldn't even walk downstairs properly.
That I've got that on a note. That's a note that says to hero stair walk, how to make something simple scary.
Yeah. The fact that one of them breaks, I'm sorry, when she boss ass into that wall, like that's a fucking broken nose. Like straight up, Don't care. That's a stone wall. That's a broken nose. She looked like she was going Mach 10, breaking the sound, breaking the speed of sound, and boom, right into a wall. I mean,
But
it was funny though. It was funny.
but like in comparison to those two scenes, it's like stark contrast.
Yes.
Other than her terrified in both of them, because I think anyone would be terrified as you're about to fall off some pipes.
I'd be more terrified falling off pipes and running downstairs.
There's a different type of fear though. Like, yeah, running down the stairs at the start of the film, there's a fear that like she doesn't like want to do it. You know, she starts trying to like shuffle down them. But yeah, when it breaks and she has to run, that's when she runs. Like, but with the pipe, it's a fear of like consequence, but she just does it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's bold enough to like accept fear.
Yeah.
It's such a good lesson for like a family film.
Yeah.
You know?
Embrace the fear.
Yeah, like fear is okay.
Yeah, you run over that pipe, kids. Yeah, you almost.
Yeah.
Life lessons.
Yeah, that's how we get people who climb up cranes.
Those people are mental.
They
I'm saying,
are,
yeah.
but they have to come from somewhere.
They all watched Spirited Away as kids.
It was that or Spider-Man, so.
Yeah,
An
yeah.
interview. Did you ever run along a rusted pipe that was sure to break? Yes? Good. Good.
That's how they figure out the weakling from the
operator.
true men to go up those cranes.
Oh man.
How about the scene where Chihiro's when she first meets Kamaji and you see all the little soup balls individually carrying their own piece of coal.
Yeah.
Just drawing that. You could have easily made like something that you could easily redraw and just an animated kind of loop. But no, all of them individually slowly trudging their way across.
Yeah.
Those suit sprites in that scene, I say in that scene, they show up quite a lot. There's so many like interesting things going on there. Like you said, just they're so cool to watch. You know, like I love the way they're
Yeah.
animated. They just kind of bounce around. And they've all got their own little personality. Like when one of them drops the coal and Chiro finishes his job for him, and then they all decide they're gonna do that. It's also there's such a cool inclusion at that moment in the film. I'm gonna question it. I know Ty hasn't, but for the other two, have you seen My Neighbor Totoro?
I have
A
not.
while ago.
Okay. So, My Neighbor Totoro came out in 1988, so a little bit before Spirited Away. But within
But
that,
before I was born.
yeah, it's an old movie. But the suit sprites play a somewhat important role in that movie as well. They're also like the first magical creature our protagonists meet. But they feel like a lot more magical and a lot more like intricate and strange in that movie than they do in Spirited Away. And I feel like their inclusion in Spirited Away so early is an indication that like things are gonna get weird. You know,
Yeah.
these like really cool, mysterious little creatures that were so like bizarre and otherworldly in the other movie. Yeah, they just carry the coal here. Like they're nothing. They live in the basement. Like wait till we get upstairs. So I think it was a warning that like yeah, we're going places with the fantasy here that we've never really gone before. Which is true because then there's just giant ducks.
And then what do you meet next? Giant radish spirit.
Yes. I do love
I
that.
mean,
Yeah, he needed physical. Japanese spirits don't have like physical forms in like folklore.
Yeah.
So he invented them, and I love that he does. Yeah, big radish, big duck, frog.
I still think it's kind of funny how the radish has got a bull in his head.
Yeah,
It's like it's asking to be
because
eaten.
he's a radish.
Yeah.
It was also nice to find like another spirit in there. Like it was silent, but it was like, hey, this guy is actually wants to help Chihiro.
Yes.
And there was no trade. It was just a kind action while they're going up the pig and lift.
I
They have like one stop, and he's just like, we're going further up.
I love that everybody wants to help Chihiro, but no one will say it out loud because they all think they're not supposed to.
Is that right?
Yeah.
There is, yeah, every interaction she has with someone, they tell her or tell everyone else they're not going to help her, and then help her.
Yeah. Then
mean,
when
but-
she gets dunked with Lynn, everyone else is like, nah, we're not touching her.
Yeah, and even Lynn's like,
Yeah.
oh, you'll pay for this, how dare you? And then when they're alone, she's like, yay, you did it! Let me find you a place to sleep and some clothes. And,
Yeah, that's true.
like, yeah, everyone's like, oh no, filthy human. And then they'll like hate her and give her the thing she needs. And...
Well, I think that was only Lynn though.
But then, like you're saying, the radish spirit and the
There-
and the lift.
Yeah, but
like
I was
heads
saying
there.
that, but that was a rare occurrence. The only time the guy started to like Lynn, not Lynn, Chihiro, is after she did the water spirit thing. Then saved the guys from No Face.
Yeah,
Because you got the scene with him begging Yubaba not to hurt her.
That's when you've got like openly as a community, they're like keep Lin around. Not Lin. I did it too.
Chihiro.
Chihiro. Keep Chihiro around. But like even think the opening with what was his we were just talking about what's Big Spider guy called?
Kamanji.
Thank you. Yeah, well he's like to her face has this whole like almost like I don't want you here, I don't need you here. You know, but then Lane comes in and he's like, yeah, that's my granddaughter. She's with me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's all just
Like-
everyone's just always,
Actually, yeah, I guess you're not too far off.
and I think it's because, at least in my understanding, she is human, and that's like a problem. But
Hmm.
she's also
Mm.
10, you know. So
Yeah.
like, we don't want her here, but you know,
You kid.
we don't want to kill her. We want her to go home. You know, like we want to help her get out of here.
Yeah.
Which,
Except Yubaba.
except
Would you
well,
say that?
Which is
Except Yubaba.
super ironic because she has her own child that she is super protective of.
Yeah. And it was only during her tantrum that Chihiro was able to convince. Well, I say convince. Yubaba apparently had a kind of an oath that she has to give a job to anyone who
Yeah,
asks for one.
That's, yeah.
Which wherever that came from. Imagine making an oath to that. What did you get in exchange?
Well, I mean, she got her little dragon slave.
That's true.
That worked out for her.
He wanted to be her apprentice.
Yeah, that's not what he got.
No.
Sent him on errands to steal things from her sister.
Well, yeah, but wasn't the whole thing is that Haku? Why is it Hukaku? Haku originally arrived there because his home got filled up because the river's not there anymore
The river,
because
yes.
it's apartments now. So he did end up being Yubaba's henchman, and apparently Kamanji was like, "Why don't you go home?" He's like, "I don't know where it is." So I don't know. Maybe he was forced in a situation, but that's like background stuff that we can only theorize.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
But it does shed light on that. Yeah, that line where she says, "I took an oath to give a job to everyone who asks for it." She seems very willing to bend it, like that rule to
Yeah.
then fit what she wants out of that person. Yeah.
Yeah. Because Chihiro was still asking for one. She didn't say yes. She was like, "I don't want you."
Yeah. I don't want you anyway. Sign this piece of paper.
Well,
I own your name and your soul, and your parents are pigs. Go clean the bath. Well, I just said, what if you have a better, like, a better side of that deal than the other one?
Yeah, you hear it, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah. She has a job. She has a job. That's
She has a job at 10 years old. She's making money. Just saying.
I don't think she's taking anything.
Yeah, I don't think they make money.
They get
no,
food.
that's why they
I
need that
know.
gold.
And also, do you notice that a couple of times, whenever Chihiro's been given food, it's always someone turning around and going, "Oh yeah, swipe this."
Mm-hmm.
Why are you swiping food? Are you not getting fed?
I think they're all, well, she's the
Right.
only, like, humans. I think she's probably the only one that, like,
Now spirits
needs
need.
food to live.
Is Lynn not a
You know what I
human?
mean? No, she's
No, Lynn's not a human.
That was Lynn.
spirit.
Lynn's just another spirit. She's one of the big forehead ones, except her forehead isn't that big.
I was gonna say, yeah, she looks normal.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
for the sake of narrative dissonance, yeah, a lot of them look more humanoid.
Yeah.
Also, easier to animate when they're smaller.
Yes.
Yeah.
Could also, like, have another form, because, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Alright.
Haiku is a dragon.
Why do you keep calling him
Yeah.
Haiku?
Haiku, like the poem.
Haku.
Hiachi.
Oh, that's the guy who directed it. Heihachi Mishima.
Or his actual name, Kohaku. The river spirit.
Yes. Which does translate into English.
Oh,
Does it?
God,
And that, well,
no.
like, because one of the funniest things about watchers who are either subbed or dubbed is that when you take away some of the characters in why am I so bad with names? What is her name?
Chihiro
Chihiro?
Yeah, we take out some of the characters in Chihiro, it becomes Sen.
says hero.
But it's
You take out Chi, it becomes hero.
I think that's what it is. But, like,
Yeah.
yeah, the translation, like, pronunciation becomes Sen, which doesn't work at all. But it works with the other one,
Yeah.
so that's nice. I can follow that.
Actually, his name's Koaku. Then he was in X-Men. Wolverine. You know, Koei Koaku. Moon spirit.
Yeah.
Koaku just means spirit.
Maybe? I don't know.
Very
I guess.
straightforward.
Josh, you're awful quiet.
Huh? I mean,
You're awful quiet.
letting it go out.
There.
This is one of those films that it's very hard to talk about because it's such a confusing yet straightforward film. Which is one of
Yeah.
the things that, I mean, to be fair, with most of the Ghibli films, this is the case, where it's that they've got a very simple narrative that you can enjoy as a kid, where it's like, you know, if you're a kid and you watch it, it's like, oh, spirit world, cool, cleans bath, big monster, oh, dragon. But then you watch it as an adult again, and you get all of these deeper meanings, this like character development, the plot stuff, and all of that, which is something that Ghibli's always done really well with his stuff, is that it's, you know, they're family films in the sense that you can enjoy it as a kid because it looks pretty and it's got monsters. Then as an adult, you actually see that it's got a lot of meaning to it. Which is pretty cool.
Uh,
So speaking of monsters, No Face. We've not really talked about No Face yet. And I'm curious because Ty, you hadn't seen this film before.
Ooh.
Did did that part of the narrative go the way you thought it would?
it was just I thought it was like just a creepy like stalker spirit. Nah, it's just like that frog is like, I know your voice, and they just eat something like, oh,
Yeah.
eh? You're a monster that can make gold appear.
But we find out it's just dirt.
I'm just asking.
Yes.
No face.
Mhm.
Has a mouth.
That's what I meant.
It's not on the white face.
No.
Was that white face his eyes and nose?
Well,
It's a mask.
yeah.
I think it's yeah, because he has no face, so he has to wear a mask.
He's
Oh,
just a
yeah.
mouth.
It's just a mouth. Right.
I
Got
think
it.
he's
That
white.
makes more
Hence
sense.
the name.
Yes.
And he just slides.
Yeah, but he also seems to absorb the power of the things he eats, which is a weird one.
Yeah, because he starts
'Cause
like,
he's
It gets
so strong.
bigger.
Like the physical attributes, yeah,
and their personality.
that's true.
Not how, yeah, he doesn't become like all greedy and obsessed with stuff until he eats the like bathhouse people.
No, the only thing he does do is he like tries to give stuff to Chihiro.
Yeah. He wants
Which
to,
then,
he thinks he's
that-
helping.
yeah, he's just helping, and then
He doesn't know what he's doing wrong.
no, no, yeah, but yeah, now talking about No Face, that scene where Chihiro is just in the room with him alone.
Mm.
That's a scary moment for any kid to watch.
Yeah, that's
Not like
terrifying.
It's not like I'm gonna fight you, you evil monster. It's Chihiro on her knees, being very patient with the guy, and being very honest.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get one of the coolest not fight scenes, running flight scenes. I don't know how to describe that. Runaway scenes in animation.
Where she run through the bathhouse while No Face is just puking up everything.
Yubaba does a Hadouken. Does anyone remember that?
It does.
Very ineffective for Dukin.
Yeah.
It wasn't very. Yeah, she just ends up getting sick all over herself.
Yeah, that was very. Yeah,
There is
Yeah.
more puke in this movie than I remembered.
yep. There was a lot of puke.
That scene goes on for a long time.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Yeah, it
puke up
does.
the frog until they're already in the water.
Mm. I still think it's funny, about the point when he's like really like struggling to move again. He like spews up a little bit and he says, "Excuse me."
Yeah.
That one just kind of holds to me because it's like, well, at least he's being polite about it.
He's getting his personality back.
But yeah, with that scene, you see like not just him like puking up all the stuff, but like his actual body is like ripping itself apart behind him, which is it's so gruesome, but just so well animated. I don't know if I can really say very much more, but it's so good to then end up with him being No Face again.
Yeah.
And then you lead up to one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie.
Do you mean the bit where they just sit on a train?
Yep.
Yep.
I love animation and everything. That's my favorite scene.
I'm completely with you. I think genuinely one of my favorite scenes in any movie ever is the bit where they just sit on a train and spirited away. That was another I'm gonna butcher another section from Hayao Miyazaki's autobiography that I read a few years ago. He talks about there's a concept he calls MA, where if you're going to bombard your audience with information, you've also then bombarded your characters with information. Spirited Away is a good example of this because the whole way through the movie we know about as much as our protagonist does, and that is not a lot. But a lot of things happen. So that character will need a moment to pause and reflect on everything she's seen. So what Miyazaki does that not a lot of other filmmakers do is allow the audience to do that with her. There's several moments, like she'll be right before she goes to bed, she'll be like sitting out on the balcony looking out at the water. And not much is happening, you just get to look at some pretty scenery for a little bit. So you can reflect on what you've seen so far. And the train scene is the ultimate example of that because you have 2 hours worth of movie to process, and so do our characters. So yeah, they just sit there, and it cuts from shots of train tracks and the big landscape with the river and little buildings.
Yeah.
and it gives you moments.
Shadow people getting off and on.
Yeah, it's just so calm and like slow and quiet.
Kind of it like returns to that. It is calm and quiet, but it still holds your like the mysterious tone of the movie,
Hmm.
which I think's really good. It's something you the basis is something you already know, which is a train, but it's everything that's going on it.
Yes.
Like like if you look at like the luggage that's on the train, you see like eyes, you see like don't touch symbols on them, and it's so good. And then sorry.
No, take it, take it.
Well, I'm gonna say then it continues on to Zeniba's.
Hmm.
And it's a continued calm walk to Zeniba's house, and the only magical thing you see as you're getting over there is the walking lantern.
I want one of those, but I need a replica of the lantern.
Walking lantern.
I would
Just the
love
walking
that.
lantern.
It just looks so cool.
It's very cute.
It's another like unnecessarily well designed thing, you know? Like a lesser movie would just have streetlights
Yeah.
going along
Yeah.
the path. But they're like, no, it's a little lantern and he's got a foot and he jumps. And he shows them where to go.
Yeah.
Like a little bellboy.
It also bows, which is really cute.
Yeah.
It lights the way for the characters.
How
Right.
useful would that be, though?
Oh, I'd love if a lantern just showed me
I
where to
mean-
go all the time. I get lost easy.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I thought I was just mean for the light. I was just going to point out that torches exist, but
Not like an actual like walking lantern.
Yeah.
I think me and Ty are on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Yeah, moving around in the dark is hard.
you poor children.
Youngest one here.
True.
Right.
Which is why it's even sadder.
Before we move on to the questions, does anyone have anything else they want to talk about?
I got one more thing, which
Yeah.
is how Studio Ghibli likes to animate water.
Okay, yeah, we can talk about the water.
Because I think now I forget what this one's called. It's like the Little Prince kind of deal, where you got the little people. I forgot what that movie's called. It's a Studio Ghibli movie.
I can help you there.
Secret World of Ariarte?
Is that what it's called? So with the kid who is like really sick.
Yeah, the one that's just the borrowers, basically.
Yeah, yeah, and you see this a lot in there too. Which is on how they animate water, which is because of how water works. It's not actually as fluid as a lot of people like to describe it is, but it's really sticky. It doesn't like falling off things. Now, so when you like see like Chihiro and Haku as like Chihiro's like said like Haku's real name Kohaku, and now they're falling through the sky, and you got this lovely scene of the two of them. You can see like Chihiro's tears,
Mhm.
and they don't come out like a stream. They come out.
Oh, they're
in drops.
huge though.
But that's how he does that kind of style.
Yeah.
And that's fairly accurate. If you've seen what happens to people when they cry in space, I know this is on Earth, but this is an example. Tears don't just fall straight down; they actually kind of accumulate on your face. They kind of stick, and they don't want to move. Which is why you have to be careful if you cry in space.
I'll take note of that.
Don't cry in space.
So
Next
when
time I'm up there.
so when you've got characters who are falling in a similar manner, obviously the water's not going to it's not as dense and as heavy as Chihiro, so it's not going to come down falling with them, so it flying upwards in these chunks is actually very accurate. I think that's all I'm gonna say. I just love how he did it. He's done so
I'll give you
piggin'
that.
well.
Because in like most animated movies I've seen, like the tears they come down like just like this regular little stream just straight down the face. Nah, the teardrops, like they kind of, some of them stuck on her face as they were going down.
Mm.
Most of the time it's like, because you've cried, it stays on like the dimples of your cheek. The fact that it actually moved to the dimples of your cheek, I thought that was actually pretty sick.
Mm.
Like I said, the animation is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I'll give it to it. The animation of this movie is absolutely beautiful.
Can you guys, like, it's hitting me now that when we do animated movies in the future, we might not necessarily have Simeon here to make us sound smart.
I'll have Simeon on call. I'll just be like he'll just feed into one ear what to say and sound really smart.
How did they do
It's
that?
just it's explanation. It's like it was great animation. It looked real, but it wasn't.
That would be the level of our commentary right now if Simeon wasn't
Yeah.
here. We'd all be like, good drawing.
The picture, contrast, brightness of the animation, beautiful.
Pretty picture.
Ha ha! Pretty picture.
So, guys, we have very important business to attend to.
Do we?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you 2 questions.
Uh-oh.
That's 3.
It's been so long.
Oh yeah.
It's
you
so
have 2
long
questions.
you missed 1 month. So we're gonna
I
ask
said
So long time.
we're gonna ask Josh
After you
if he
said that, I said-
recommend. We're gonna ask Josh if he
That's
recommends
3.
13 Ghosts.
Oh.
No.
Oh,
I can answer that question if you want.
that is the correct answer. So, Joe, we'll start with Josh since I'm already talking to him. Josh,
Yeah.
is Spirited Away worth watching?
Worth watching? Oh yeah, for sure. In fact, every Ghibli film I've seen, I think is worth watching at least once. Even if anime or animation in general isn't your thing, like the storylines and the characters in them are done so well that you forget it's animated and you just get so engrossed. So yeah, definitely worth watching.
Hi. Is Spirited Away worth watching?
Okay. I was completely prepared to answer, would you recommend it?
I mean, yeah,
was
just-
completely
I
ready to
worded it
say-
different.
Yes, I was completely ready to say no, I wouldn't recommend it. But since you're asking is it worth watching, I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
Because just for the animation. I'm sorry, the plot does lack a little bit, but animation completely makes up for it. It's gorgeous. So yes, it is worth watching.
Simeon, you get to enter as well. Although I know what you're gonna say. Is
Hurrah.
Spirited Away worth watching?
Yes, if you love storytelling, if you love animate, especially if you love animating, seeing like the limits you can go to, and how much you can add just to one simple scene, it's incredible. And we didn't even talk about the music, but mwah,
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, fantastic.
it's amazing. Was it? I think 16th station. My favorite one in the entire soundtrack. But yeah, I do recommend it. It's a good movie.
Nathan,
There you go. I was waiting for one of you two to say it.
do you think Spirited Away is worth watching?
Yeah, I do. Which it should be a
Just-
surprise.
Real simple, yeah, I do.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of my favorite movies I think ever. So, yeah.
Good.
After Simeon made such a great point there, I feel like I should have said more. But, let's get to the real important stuff. It doesn't matter if it's a good movie. That's not what the show is about. The show is not about finding good movies. The show is about finding midnight screenings.
That is the title, yeah.
That is.
Ooh.
Roll credits, but also don't roll credits because we're not finished. Josh K. Is Spirited Away a midnight
Yes.
screening?
No. No.
Yes. No.
No, I genuinely don't think it is. Spirited Away is the type of film that you need to actually watch. You need to be there, and you need to be in like the mindset of I'm watching this movie. You know, there's just so much to it. It's not something you just have in the background. It's a genuine piece of art, and to put it on just at midnight is like a fun viewing. Doesn't do it credit. So no, I don't think so.
Yeah. Hi Hennessy.
Yes.
Is Spirited Away a midnight screening?
No. As someone who literally watched it at midnight, it is a 2 and some change hour film. By the end of it, you've watched a 2 and a bit hour film. Josh wrapped it up perfectly. But yeah, no, it's not a midnight screening.
Simeon Nicholas.
So it's the midnight screen. It's with pals and all that, right?
Yeah.
Yes, basically says
Yeah.
you're with your mates,
With
have a
your
couple
mates.
beers, maybe. Yeah.
I'd probably say no as well. I think it's an amazing movie, and I think it's something that you should watch, probably alone or with your artsy friends. But as something to maybe have like a drink over, probably not the greatest. I think it's worth more.
Is this a midnight screening?
No, that's what I mean. No.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a midnight screening. I think
I'm
think
saying Nathan.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so for some reason Josh and Ty now have a competition to see which one of them can ask me the questions fastest.
Oh.
It's not fastest. It's with the most style, which is why I'm winning.
Let's be honest, Josh. In all your years of life, no one has ever commented you as stylish.
Hey Nathan, is it midnight
rude.
screening?
Oh, thank you for the question, Simeon.
Wait.
Rude.
Wait. You guys are going off topic a bit. You're trying to rush it. You could. Nathan, do you think this period is a midnight screening?
Objection, hearsay.
So, yeah, I'm gonna go with no. I think Josh actually summed up really well.
Yeah.
We've been here before. I feel. Can't think of that too. But yeah, this is one of those films. Ironically, it's almost too good to be a midnight movie. A midnight
Yeah.
screening, sorry. That being said, this film, more so than anything else we've talked about, has really made me notice, or not notice, but acknowledge the flaw in our definition of midnight screening
Yeah.
we use for the show, because you guys probably know I took the phrase midnight screening from the concept of a midnight movie. A midnight movie being a film with a particularly large cult following that would be shown in movie theaters past midnight on like special occasions, you know. If you were to rent out a cinema, what would those films be? And Spirited Away is a midnight movie. Like, objectively, that is just a thing that happens in real life.
Yeah.
And I'd love to go to one. This film would be beautiful on the big screen. But for our definition of midnight screening being more of the red letter media sense of let's hang out and yell at the screen and make fun of a film, no,
Yeah.
of course not. But that is, I do want to clarify to any listeners who just sort of stumble on this. There's a difference between those two things. We took the phrase for simplicity reasons. I know there's more nuance to the cult scene than making fun of Dragon Ball Evolution, but that's what we do here.
Point out, Nathan, you said you felt we've done this before. We have. It was in the unreleased episode.
I was gonna say yes. Our the missing midnight screening did have a lot of this conversation.
Everyone would recommend it. It is not a midnight screening though.
Yes. Which I think we
We're
have
gonna-
done it before. Other like
Because it was unreleased. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I can't think of it.
I'm looking
Top
through the
of my
list
head.
right now. No, we haven't.
I'm not saying the unreleased one because we're probably going to do it in the future. And
I'd like to, but I also want to prepare myself.
oh, 100%, because I felt so sad after that. I went and cried, like cuddled my knees in the shower,
Although
and yeah.
I guess that is a good thing to say. Listeners, do let us know if you're interested in the movie that made Ty cry and you want us to revisit it at some point. Do tell us, and we'll do it. We'll figure it out. Well,
Oh, please let us make I cry.
Horrible person, horrible. Josh, you were upset as well. I don't know what you're talking about.
Didn't cry though. Big difference.
A brave man knows when to cry.
Then all that's left to say is thank you for all our listeners for listening and putting up with us. If you're listening to this on Spotify, do subscribe to Nathan Needs Username on YouTube. All of these episodes go up there, as well as all my other weird stuff. Everything else I decided to do. So follow me there. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch for even more sporadically random content. Thanks as always to Josh K and Ty Hennessy for being here.
You are welcome.
How's it going?
Their links will be in the description as always. And to our guest, Simeon, Earl of Bagels, Nicholas.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for
Yeah,
being
Nathan. To make sure it's the link to my new Instagram.
Yes. And I'll also be going through our old episodes and changing that.
Thanks.
Yes, if you're following Ty Hennessy on Instagram and he's trying to sell you Bitcoin, don't click the link.
No. If it's only Bitcoin, no, it's also Bitcoin with my new weight loss shake that will get you bikini body ready in 6 weeks.
Oh, I don't know about that, but I'm in.
So yes, Simeon's links will also be in the description. Follow him on Instagram. Simeon, tell them what you do.
I draw pixel art and do short animations with said pixel art. I also have a series of Rubik's Cube videos where I draw some of my favorite icons, characters, and items from video games, and sometimes TV shows with Rubik's Cubes.
The dude makes art out of Rubik's Cubes. What more would you want? Follow that. It's real cool.
Bad.
And that's everything.
Great.
Yay.
Louise. Oh man.
I was trying to hold that back, that laugh, for as long as I could. It just...
Hello.
It's enough.